Wishing you a greetings for a day. I welcome you all for the session on Introduction to Software Testing. I am Professor SomnathThigale, working as Assistant Professor in SKN Sinhagarh College of Engineering, Koti Pandharpur, with a remote center ID is 1260. So let's start with the content, what we are going to see in this small presentation. The first we will introduce what is the concept of software testing. Then we will try to understand what are the different levels for the software testing. Then we will try to understand what are the ways, what are the types through which we will complete entire software testing by understanding different types of testing. Then there are the ways to complete the testing life cycle, maybe testing with an manual testing or an automation testing. What are the options if we are planning to go for an automation testing? So we may have hands-on like UFT, RFT and Selenium. So let's start with the first, introduction to software testing. So how the testing is defined? So it is a process in which the defects are identified, isolated, subjected for rectification, and ensure that the product is defect free. So in short, we can say that it is just in order to provide a quality and satisfactory product to the client. So simply it is a process used to measure the quality of a developed software. So if we see there, it is a process that is used to measure the quality of developed software. It is what the simplest part we can say about them testing. Basic intention behind the testing is it is conducted with an intention of identifying the bugs. We can call bugs, error, defects, which is similar at this moment to understand the testing. So intention behind the overall testing process is to finding out the errors, bugs, defects which are get deviated from the user's expectations. So meanwhile we can focus on the detailed parts of it. So while we are performing on the testing, we are using two words frequently. The first word is verification and the second is validation. So verification means what? Validation we will try to understand. So verification just simply concentrating on its involves various processes throughout the software development life cycle, but just in a static approach. We will call it as what? Verification. In verification process, we are verifying that we are building the product right or not. Objective of verification process is prevention from the defect. It is just a static process. So simply confirming that we are doing the right things. We will call it as what? Verification. Now let's concentrate on validation. Validation, that what we are going to build a right product, just confirming that we are building a right product. Objective of a validation process is identification of the defects. It is just a dynamic process. The ways which we will complete the testing are white box testing, black box testing. So let's have a discuss in detail what is white box testing, black box testing. It is what the simplest, if I say, as the name suggests, white box testing. It is a box through which we can see what is internal part of the program, means the entire internal structure is knowing to a performer who is going to perform the role as a tester. So tester is knowing the entire details about the products, and he is just providing, means basically the person who has developed that product performing a testing called as one white box testing. Exactly the opposite of this part, we will call it as one black box testing. Whatever there is inside the box, I don't know. I just give the input and I'm bothered about the output, whether I am getting expected output or not. Checking that type, we will call it as one black box testing. And sometimes we need to use the combination of black box and white box called as one gray box testings. Why there is need to have a different levels? Basically to reduce the cost of quality, to reduce the cost time it is required to complete, and whatever the errors we are going to find out, if we find out it at earlier stages, it will save a lot of time. There are the 4 levels of testing called as what? Unit testing, integration testing, sometimes referred as a module testing, then system testing, and the last Highest level of testing is UAT, which stands for user acceptance testing. The parts of user acceptance testing are like alpha testing, beta testing, and gamma testing. Let's try to understand each of them. These are the basic types of testing called as FURPS, which known as functionality testing, usability testing, reliability testing, performance testing, and the last supportability testing. We can add one more S here as a security testing. So that's all about the basic part about software testing. Hope you got what I want to say. This is what an attempt to transfer my experience into your knowledge. Thanks for giving me an opportunity. Have a great day ahead.